welcome back to my channel. I have just woke up and edited this and there was no intro in classic me style. There was something missing from the video, so here I am to intro it. In today's video we're going to be doing bookish stuff, so we've got hauls of books and book related things. We've also got an unhaul, going through my shelves, getting rid of books that I just don't need to be keeping hold of anymore. And we also go through my book journal, talk about the books we've been reading, the genres I've been leaning towards, how I'm doing on my reading goals, all that good stuff. So yeah, the first thing that we're going to do is a haul, so let's get straight into it. Oh my god, my hair. I've just come in from outside and haven't looked in a mirror. Interesting that this is how I've been walking around town. Okay, we're just gonna, this is ridiculous. We're just gonna have to excuse the hair for now. Sorry that my coat is also squeaking, that's unideal. I've just been to the works and picked up some very exciting purchases. The first one is some washi tape for my book journal. I have a couple of washi tapes. I don't have a big variety of colours. I don't have any really like this kind of panel colour scheme, which are very much the ones I know I'm going to be wanting going into spring and summer. Also, my washi tapes, I've had them for over 10 years. I don't, as I said, have a very big collection, but I bought them for my scrapbook like 10 years ago and it's got to the point where I can't really peel them because the glue's gone weird. I think it's like slightly melted and gone so sticky that I can't really peel them. So I needed some new washi tapes, and I know for a fact I will use all of the ones in here. They are so cute. I also got this washi tape that just came on its own. It's a little bookish one, and it says like bookaholic, one more chapter, page turner, like just cute little bookish phrases on books. This one's quite thick, so I thought this could be good for like titles, because what I tend to do in my book journal, I will show you my book journal at some point, or maybe I already have. I don't know how I'm going to edit this video. I think I'll probably use this for titles, so I'll put this, because it's quite thick, along the top, and then stick like letters on for titles and stuff. I tend to layer my titles up. I'll show you an example of what I mean when we go through my book journal. But yeah, they are the two crafty bits that I picked up. And then I have already read this. I listened to it on audio from my library and I loved it so much. I watched the TV show, I watched it after I read the book. But I know I want the full series in physical copy because my library only actually have the first two and I've already read them. Yes, this is the second one, but they had it in the works and it was only £5. I'm actually going shopping later today, so we'll probably have another clip after this. I'm nipping to Waterstones later to hopefully pick up the rest of the series because they don't have them in the works. They only sell Heated Rivalry, but I thought even if I can get one of them cheaper, I might as well. This, as you can see by the big sticker, was £5, whereas they're £10 in Waterstones. So I thought if I can save myself a fiver on even just one of the books, I might as well. I adore this with every part of me. The TV show was absolutely incredible. Like, give me season 2 right now. The reason I want to get these is because I need to read The Long Game, but I kind of have to do it in order. So I'm going to get the whole series, read them, and get to The Long Game as quick as humanly possible. But yeah, that is my little haul for now. I'll pop back in, hopefully, when we've been to Waterstones later and picked up the rest of the Game Changer series. I have secured the goods. I know that these aren't in order at the minute, and Tough Guy is downstairs because I already started reading it as soon as I got home last night. Here we are. We finally have the Game Changers, oh my god, series, in the wrong order albeit, but I finally have my hands on these so I can read them. I am so beyond excited. By the time this video goes up, I think I'll probably already have read at least a couple of these, so you might have already seen me read them in vlogs by this point, but yeah, I just wanted to show you that I finally got them. So obviously I've got Heated Rivalry, Game Changer, which is book number 1, and then book number 4, Common Goal, book number 5, Role Model, and the one I am eagerly anticipating. This is the one I really want to get to. I just need more of Shane and Ilya. This is The Long Game, book number 6, and we do know now that there is book number 7 coming out, which is another Shane and Ilya book coming out, I think like September this year. I need it right now. Anyway, this is the little haul. I don't know that there'll be anything else in this month's haul section because I'm trying not to buy books, so clearly that's going really well. No, I bought these because my library don't have them and I've already started the series. I don't mind buying books if I'm actually going to read them. Like, I've bought these and I literally bought them last night and I've already started reading the next one, so I don't mind that. I don't mind buying books if they're not available elsewhere and I'm actually going to read them. I'm just trying not to have loads of books sat on my physical TBR. These I got from Waterstones, by the way, and they were like £10 each. It cost me £55 for 5 books. So they were like just over £10 each. Quite a lot of money, not gonna lie. Wouldn't usually ever pay that much. I would usually either use my Spotify hours or just wait for the library to get them. But I just already know this is going to be a favourite series, so I don't mind spending money on books that I'm pretty sure I'm going to love, especially this one. I'm so excited, I actually can't. I am back with more books that I bought yesterday. I popped into a couple of charity shops and into the works. I didn't find anything in the charity shops, but I did find a few books in the works that have been on my radar. The first one I've been wanting to read for a really long time, but I haven't seen it like on sale on Kindle or really in any bookshops anywhere, so I've been holding out on buying a copy like from Waterstones or something. Good job I did, because I saw it in the works, and that is The X-Files by Jessica Joyce. This is about two exes, as you might expect. They broke up, I think, around 5 years. Yeah, 5 years before the book starts. And in the book, they are at their best friend's wedding and everything goes wrong. And it's their job, basically, to get this wedding back on track. They have to work together to make this wedding the wedding of their dreams for their best friend, even though everything is going wrong. I am engaged. I'm planning my own wedding, so I thought this would be a really cute setting for a book when I heard about it. I also tend to quite like wedding settings in general. I feel like it's forced proximity, but in a really natural way to bring people together, like in Problematic Summer Romance by Ellie Hazelwood. I really enjoyed the setting of that. Looking at the cover, this one looks like it might be a summer kind of vibe as well. So this, I don't know, I kind of want to save it and read it on holiday, but also I've been wanting to read it for so long. Am I going to pick it up before I go on holiday? Probably yes. Really, really surprised to see it in the works, especially because it was on the little 3 for £7.50 deal. So it was either £3 or you can get 3 books for £7.50. So obviously I got 3 books for £7.50. I read The Fake Mate by Lana Ferguson last year, I think it was, and I liked it, but I didn't love it. And I was really surprised that I didn't love it, because I read it off the back of Reading Bride by Ellie Hazelwood, which is an Omegaverse book, and it was the first Omegaverse book I'd ever read. I gave Bride 5 stars. So therefore I thought, okay, well, I must really like Omegaverse. And then I read The Fake Mate, and then I only gave it 3 stars. But then I read, what's the next one after Bride by Ellie Hazelwood? Mate. I read that, and I really didn't like it. So I'm thinking maybe actually I just like Ellie Hazelwood, and particularly liked how Bride was done, and don't actually love Omegaverse. So I've decided we're going to give Lana Ferguson another chance. I liked how that book was written. I think maybe I just didn't like the concept as much as I thought I was going to. So I picked up 2 different Lana Ferguson books that have quite different premises. The first one is, what is it even called? Under Lock and Key. This is, I believe, set in the Highlands of Scotland and follows our 2 main characters. I don't want to spoil anything. I kind of know what the twist in this is already. And I'm definitely intrigued. We'll say I'm intrigued about this. I don't really know how much I can say without spoiling anything, so I'm not going to say too much more. But yeah, it's a romance that's set in the Highlands of Scotland. I think the setting is going to be absolutely stunning. And we'll see how the premise goes. Because I'm still a bit apprehensive and intrigued, but also apprehensive about the concept of this, I didn't want to read a book with this kind of concept that is a bit out there and still not give Lana Ferguson another shot. So I also got The Game Changer by Lana Ferguson, which looks like it's just going to be a standard sports romance, particularly, I'm guessing, a hockey romance by the context clues that we've got on the cover. Let's actually see what it says on the back. When a very public breakup becomes a PR nightmare for Ian Chase's team, his plan is to focus on his game, but that suddenly seems like less than a hat trick. With his career and the team's image in jeopardy, Ian is surprised to find a solution through none other than Delilah Baker, his best friend and teammate's little sister, who isn't so little anymore. So that was phrased weird. I think his best friend is his teammate, and I think the FMC is his best friend's little sister. Okay, cute. I always like a cute fun romance. I thought I would get something very within my comfort zone written by Lana Ferguson, because I think that's the best way to give her a fair chance as an author. As I said, I don't dislike her book that I read. Like, I liked how The Fake Mate was written. I just got a bit lost and bored in the middle, but I'm thinking now maybe that was the concept, because I also didn't like Mate by Ellie Hazelwood. And I would rate that Woman Shopping this 5 stars. So, they are the 3 books that I got to add to my TBR cart. I am very excited for all 3 of these. I will probably read them quite soon, even though I should save them because I like holiday reads, but also I don't care. When I say holiday, by the way, I mean like a summer holiday, not Christmas. In the UK, when we go away to like the beach, we call that a holiday. Just to make that clear. But yeah, anyway, these are the books I got. Very excited about them. I'm going to go and add them to the TBR cart. I've just had what I think is a very exciting delivery. This isn't strictly bookish related, but like it also kind of is. I pre-ordered some of Kayla Lil Sims. That always sounds so weird in my accent. Kayla Sims. Her actual surname is Sims, by the way. She doesn't only play Sims. I watch a lot of her streams. I particularly love her Animal Crossing content. Anyway, that's irrelevant. She came out with like merch, but not like merchy merch. Basically, she created a really cute tote bag and a book sleeve, and I pre-ordered them, and I think that's what this parcel is, because I'm not expecting anything else to come in the post. So I am assuming that that is what is in here. I pre-ordered these last year and I've been so excited for this to get delivered. Can you kind of see the print? It's literally so cute, I can't. It comes in like a little protective bag. I like that. Oh my god, it's so cute. It's literally so cute. Shut up. I actually can't. So this is the tote bag. Stop it. Like, look how adorable that is. I like that it says Little Simsy, but it's really small and like blends in with the bag. It's also got a bit of structure because at the moment, basically my thought with this is that in the spring, summer, either on my lunch breaks at work or at the weekend, I really like to go out to local parks, have a walk around, have a sit and read. And I thought this would be a perfect bag for that, just to have like my drink, my book, maybe a little blanket to sit on. I thought this would be absolutely perfect for that without having to take like a full-on handbag. But at the minute I'm just using like a canvas tote and it's got no structure to it and everything just falls over and it annoys me. This one has like a couple of pockets and stuff on the inside. It also has a magnetic closure. It has zip sections. The book sleeve is like a matching print. Again, I thought when I'm going out on my walks and when I know I'm going to go and like sit somewhere for a bit, I can put either my book or my Kindle in here just in case, you know, like my bottle leaks or my snacks leak or whatever, it'll stay protected. So again, it's like the same print, says Little Simsy on the front. There's a pocket if I want to put any pens, annotating supplies, or just like my phone or whatever. And then it ties closed with these little pink things. How cute is that? Just imagine me on a sunny day in my little like matching set that I'm wearing with my cute little... How cute! I'm so excited that these are here. That has made my day. Like, that's actually made my day that these have arrived. I was just tidying up the like packaging from that order and I found this sticker. How cute is that? I don't know if these were like for sale or if these are just like a little free thing. I'm assuming it's a sticker. But how cute is that? Bookworm sticker. That is so cute. I actually can't. I don't know where to put it yet. I've not decided, but oh my god, that's so cute. The next thing we are going to do in this video, since we have hauled some books, we need to unhaul some books. We don't need to. I'm not going to force myself to get rid of books, but I know for a fact that there are some books on the shelves that I just don't need to be hanging on to anymore. And that every time I've done an unhaul, I've kind of looked at them and been like, shall I get rid of them? Shall I not? We're going to be a bit ruthless today and we're going to be getting rid of some books. So I'm going to go and have a look through my shelves, pick off some that I think I'm going to want to get rid of, and I'll come and show you what the contenders are and we'll try and decide which ones I'm definitely going to unhaul. We've got a pile of contenders. So we've got two at the top that I am definitely going to get rid of. The first one is Great Expectations. I've tried to read this now twice and DNF'd it both times. I love other work by Charles Dickens. I don't love this one. It's just not the book for me and that's fine. Even though I am obsessed. I've held on to this for such a long time because I love these Penguin Classics editions. I have the one of Mansfield Park here that I'm currently reading for another video. I love these, but I can't hang on to a book that I've DNF'd twice that I'm just never going to finish just because I like the cover. So this one can go back to the charity shop where I got it from and hopefully someone else will love this a bit more than me. The next one's a book that I've only tried to read once. I only got 20 pages in and I was so irritated for every single one of those 20 pages. I don't think this is a bad book. I think... Let me show you what it is. It's YA. It's a YA romance. And the reason I really wanted to try and read this is because it's sapphic. So I thought that might be different than other YA romance. I'm also not someone who completely doesn't like YA romance. I still love a lot of Lynn Painter books, for example. But one of the characters in here is so rude and insufferable and annoying and self-centered that I just could not. She has no empathy whatsoever. For context, one of the girls in here, her mum is incredibly, incredibly ill. And the other girl's mum, because their mums are best friends, says that she's going to help her. She's going to undergo some kind of procedure to help her best friend. The girl, the daughter of the mum who isn't the one that's ill but is the one that's going to help, understandably is concerned about her mum undergoing like a medical procedure. Understandably, she's a bit, you know, upset and worried about that. That makes sense. But in the conversation where they find out that the other girl's mum is ill again and that she's going to need this help, the girl whose mum isn't ill makes it all about her in front of everyone straight away. At no point does she show any empathy for the other girl. She goes straight into hatred mode because they don't like... I should have said this. They don't like each other at all. They really, really don't like each other. I just find her very insufferable. And since I DNF'd this, no part of me has wanted to pick it back up. So again, we're going to donate this one. And hopefully it will find a home where someone is going to not find the characters quite so irritating. Or not the characters, one of the main characters quite so irritating. We now have a few contenders. So what I like to do when I unhaul is, there's one more definite. Let's do the other definite. Actually, there's two definites. The first one is The Legacy by L. Kennedy. This is like a small little copy. I'll probably pop this on my Vinted. I've never actually read from this copy, so it's in like perfect condition. I've just dropped the other books on the floor. It's done. I have a complete set of this series already. I don't need another copy of The Legacy. It's not my favourite book in the series. I also don't like L. Kennedy anymore. I won't be reading any more of her books that I don't already own. I have, I think, the next book in the Campus Diary series that I'm going to try just because I've already got it, but I don't plan to buy anything from L. Kennedy anymore. I don't like her or her views particularly on several things. But anyway, I just don't need two copies of a random book in the series. So again, I'll probably pop this one up on my Vinted. It is very cute. Like if I show you it next to a normal paperback, it's like a cute little one. But yeah, I just don't need it. And then the other definite is Savour It by Tara DeWitt. I kept hold of this because I gave this 3 stars. I didn't hate it, but I never think of it fondly whenever I think of this book. But everyone gave the second one in the series 5 stars. So I was going to keep hold of this to then read the second one. And if I loved the second one and loved the rest of the series, I could get them physically and have them all. I gave the second one like 2 stars. So I'm going to get rid of this now. It is beautiful. It's a gorgeous cover. I don't think these books are bad. I just think maybe Tara DeWitt isn't the author for me. I've read quite a few of her books now and they just never hit. So I don't need to hang on to this. I won't be buying the rest of the series. So there's no point me just owning the one. Okay, now we have contenders. As I was just starting to say, basically what I'm going to do is take these off my shelves, put them in my donation bag. What I'll do is I'll try and sell books on Vinted. Any that don't sell or any that I look at and think no one's going to want that, I will like let them stack up a bit and then either sell them back to World of Books or just take them to the charity shop. So I put them to one side and wait until I've got quite a few to take all in one go. So these are going to go in there. If I start to miss them, if I start to think about them, if I start to look at my shelves and think, oh, I wish those books were back, I can just take them back out. It's very, very rare that I do that, to be honest. Once I've taken a book off the shelf, it's very, very rare. Like taking it off to unhaul, it's very rare that I change my mind and put it back on. So these probably will be unhauls, but I'll give it a bit of time to see if I want to hang on to them. The first two are by Hannah Bonham Young, Next to You and Next of Kin. This is a little duology. I didn't love it, I didn't hate it. I think of her other books a lot more fondly. I loved Out on a Limb. I loved People Watching. I did like Out of the Woods. I didn't love this duology. I didn't love either of them enough to warrant keeping one, just to keep them as a pair. They were fine. But if I was going to recommend Hannah Bonham Young, I wouldn't recommend these. I'd recommend her other books. So I'm just never really going to have a need for these. I'm never going to want to revisit or reread them or really recommend them. So there's not much point in me keeping hold of them. And then the next two, both by the same author, Jenna Levine. These are My Vampire Plus One and My Roommate is a Vampire. I said them the wrong way around. This is the first one in the series. This is the second one. Again, these weren't bad. The second one in particular was really quite an enjoyable read, but I'm never going to reread these. I'm not going to carry on with the series. So I don't know. I always just, do I need 2 books from a series that I'm not going to carry on with? I don't know. Probably not. I like that this has got nice sprayed edges, but other than that, I actually don't even really like the sprayed edges. That was a lie. I don't even like the sprayed edge. These weren't bad, but am I going to do anything with these physical copies? No, because I'm not going to revisit, reread, or... It's not that I wouldn't recommend them, but they're not going to jump out. I'm not going to be pulling for these all the time to be recommending them in every video. So here we go. Read them if you want, but I don't think I need to keep hold of physical copies of them. For now, that is it. I will see if I read anything else, because this video is not going up for another couple of weeks. I'll see if I read anything else from my physical TBR that I decide not to keep hold of. If so, I'll add a clip in here. But otherwise, that is our unhaul done for this month. I thought in this video we could also go through my reading journal. I haven't been filming monthly wrap-ups this year because I honestly just hated filming and editing them. So I've pretty much put every book I've read this year into a vlog anyway, or mentioned it in some kind of video. So I don't really feel the need to do a wrap-up. I love watching other people's, don't get me wrong, but I just hated filming and editing them and just listening to myself talk about the same books that I've already filmed and edited for vlogs. Again, love watching other people. Don't mind when other people repeat the reviews. I just hate doing it myself. I find it really tedious to edit. So I thought instead in these like doing bookish videos, we could just go through my reading journal, update how many books I've read so far in the year, what genres I'm leaning towards, etc, etc. So I will flip the camera around. I updated my reading journal this morning, and then I thought we could go through the reading journal together and yeah, just see what I've read so far this year, what my ratings look like, what genres I'm reading. Apologies, I am just going to have to hold it because I don't have a tripod, so I'll try and hold it as still as possible. But this is the first spread that I have in my journal, and this is for my 2026 reading goals. So I thought we could quickly reflect on these. The first one is to read more historical fiction. I have read a few already this year. Read more dystopia. Again, I have read a couple. Read 6 classics. I think I've read 3 already, and I have plans to read 3 more within the next month. So we'll actually tick that one off like really early on in the year, which is great. I'm not usually a classics reader. I got into Jane Austen very, very slowly in the last few years, but I've still only read Pride and Prejudice, Emma, and I just read Mansfield Park. So I am slowly dipping my toe into classics and trying to find the ones that I enjoy. The next goal is to have a manageable physical TBR. I started this year with pretty much nothing on my TBR, and I would say it's still manageable. It's got to the point now where I'm not really going to buy too many more books at the moment until I've read some of the ones on there. But I would say at the minute it's manageable. There is a spread in here where you will see how many books are on my physical TBR. It does feel very manageable to me at the minute. The next one, reduce my Kindle TBR by at least 50%. I think I need to get a bit better at this. I've read a few books on Kindle this year, but quite a lot of them have been on KU rather than actually reading the ones that I own. So I need to not read KU for a bit and actually read the books that I own on my Kindle. The next one is to buy more secondhand books, which I definitely have been doing. My first haul that I did this year, as many books as possible I got secondhand. I always look now before I go to the bookstore to buy new books. If I can get them secondhand on Vinted or in a charity shop, I always look there first. So I am definitely making an effort to do this one. The next one is 26 books to read in 2026. So the ones that are coloured in are ones that I have read. A couple of them I did DNF, so I just marked next to them just so I know, but most of them I read and finished. So out of the 26 we have read 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I don't think that's too bad to say that it's the beginning of March. I think it's fine that I've read 9 of them. Project Hail Mary I will be reading in March because I've got an audiobook code coming in from the library. So that'll be another one. Great Gatsby as well. I've got an audiobook from the library coming in this month. So we'll definitely tick at least another couple of those off in March. This is my Kindle TBR. So the ones that are crossed out in purple are the ones that I have read. And as you can see, there's a lot on here that I haven't. I'm not going to say I need to read all of these this year. I just want to try and read at least 50% of these so it feels more manageable going forward. But yeah, we have a lot of books that I own on Kindle that I need to read. This is my physical TBR, so the ones that are coloured in I have already read. So it's only the ones that aren't coloured in on here that I haven't read. I don't think there's too many. It looks more on here than it does in real life because obviously in real life the coloured ones aren't on the cart anymore. So honestly, it doesn't feel even as overwhelming as this in person. And a lot of them purposely I'm not reading yet because they're the first book in a series, and as you will see on a spread in here, I'm really trying not to start any new series at the minute. So that's why a lot of these are sat on my TBRs, just because they're the first in a series and I'm holding off on them until a bit later in the year. The next 2, I'm doing really well on my book bingo. I've only got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 left, and I'm currently reading a book at the moment that is over 1,000 pages. I've nearly finished with a non-fiction, so it's just the other 3 that I need to do. Oh, and I am currently reading my most recent purchase as well, so I'm doing very well. I don't know whether, because it's only March, I feel like this is so much fun, I might do another one. I might stick another page, do a flap and do another round of bingo with different prompts, just because, yeah, I find it really fun. And then the next one is my A to Z challenge again. I'd say I'm doing pretty well with this one. I've got a plan for a book to read for X. I need to think of something for Z, Y, and maybe V. The other ones all feel reasonably, maybe Q. But they all feel quite achievable. I think we'll be fine to complete this by the end of the year. The next one is my genre tracker. So my most read genre so far this year is romance, followed by fantasy and literary fiction, which is a surprise. I don't usually read much literary fiction, and I usually read a lot of romantasy. I'm a bit over romantasy at the minute. Not that I don't ever want to read it again. I definitely am going to. I'm just being more selective over the romantasies that I'm reading this year. I feel like I was reading a lot that felt very similar and just rating them all 3 stars, and that's not the reading experience that I want. So I'm just being a little bit more selective and waiting for ones that I'm really, really excited about. Yeah, these are the genres I've read. These with the D in, they're dystopia. So when it's other, I just put the first letter of the genre so I can have a brief idea. So I've read 2 dystopias, 2 non-fictions, and I'm nearly finished with the 3rd. 3 classics, how many is that? I'm looking through the camera so I can't see. 7 literary fictions, 2 historical fictions. I coloured that in by mistake. I haven't read a sci-fi yet. I just did the wrong column, but I will have read one this month, so I'll pen around that and make it official when I have read Project Hail Mary. I've read 9 fantasy, 2 romancy, and 13 romance. And then here is my book of the year section. So whenever I have a favourite read that's basically a 5-star, I write it in here. And then at the end of the year, we will do final rankings to find out what my best book of the year was. So far, I've only got 2 books on here because I've had 2 5-stars so far. And that is The Long Game and Bear Town. After that, we've got my series tracker. This is honestly kind of horrific. Like, I'm in the middle of so many series. But what I've done to make myself feel better is where the next book isn't out, I've written the date of release. Just so I can, like, at a quick glance see, okay, well, I haven't finished that, but it's because I can't. I mean, I can technically finish this now, but I've cancelled my KU subscription because I was reading too much KU. So I can't read that yet, but you get the point. I can see now which ones have finished and I've just not read them, and which ones I can't finish yet because the books aren't out. The goal is to really try and not start any new series, because I think I've pretty much got a book now in every genre that is part of a series, if that makes sense. Like, I'm in the middle of quite a lot of fantasy series that I need to finish before starting new ones. Romance series, I'm in the middle of a good few. So I just need to get them done so that I'm not in the middle of this many. I know some people don't mind being in the middle of series, which is so fine, but I feel like I enjoy the experience of reading a series more. If I do it closer together, it just gives me a better chance of enjoying it if I kind of binge the whole thing as back-to-back as possible. Especially when it's fantasy. I'm not as bothered about, like, interconnected romance books. That doesn't really impact my enjoyment. But with fantasy, it kind of does when it's like a continuous story and not just interconnected standalone. So yeah, they are all the series that I am currently in the middle of. This is my new releases page. I think I need to update this. I only did it like once at the beginning of the year and haven't put any of the new releases that I'm excited about. I need to put ACOTAR on here, the next ACOTAR book. It got announced, I think it was yesterday, that comes out in October. So yeah, I need to go through this. I don't think I've read any of these. No, I haven't. Like, the ones that have come out already, I haven't read any of them yet. This isn't so much a reading tracker, it's just to help me keep track of books that I'm excited about and when they all come out. And when I'm doing my TBRs and stuff, it's helpful to look at this. Like, next month, I absolutely will be reading that on release day. So when I'm making my TBR video, I can just bear in mind that there's already a book on my radar that I want to read. This is my ratings tracker. So the key down here, 1 star is great, and we haven't had any 1 stars this year, which is great. This little colour here is DNF. I just need to write DNF in it. We've had 3 DNFs, which is fine. Like, I think that's out of 40, that's fine. I would rather DNF a book than finish it and rate it 1 or 2 stars. We have unfortunately had quite a lot of 2 stars or 2.5 stars though. That's the blue colour. So 2 star, 2 star, 2 star, 2.5, 2.5, 2.5. That's a bit too much for my liking. I think I need to reflect on what books those were and maybe steer away from that kind of vibe. 3 star, we've had quite a lot of 3/3.5s, which is a good rating. It means I enjoyed the book. It just didn't, like, stand out particularly. And then we've got quite a lot of pink on here, to be fair. A lot of it coming from, like, 3.5, but we've had a fair amount of 4 stars and a few 4.5s. And then 5 star, we have had 2. But again, we've got a bit of purple sneaking in with 4.25s and 4.5. So overall, I'm quite happy with this. I don't know what my average rating of the year is yet. I haven't worked it out. But so far, just looking at the colours of this, I'd like to see a bit more pink and purple and a bit less blue and orange. But overall, I think this is pretty decent. This is my yearly stats, so I do this at the end of each month. So in January, I read a total of 20 books. 1 of those was a DNF, so I finished 19 books. 4 of those I read on Kindle, 3 physical, 13 on audio. And of those, I owned 10 and borrowed 10. So basically library or KU, mostly from the library. And then in February, I read 13 books and DNF 2, which brings our total to 15. 2 of those were on Kindle, 1 physical, a whopping 12 on audio. The way that I figure this out, so these 12 that I read on audio, I probably read quite a lot of them also physically. I just choose the format that I read the most of, if that makes sense. So most books I will read in more than one format. Like, I'll read a few chapters physically, listen to a couple. So I just go with the majority when I'm working this out. So this isn't exactly right. The reason I track this is just to give me a general idea of what subscriptions I need. So, like, if I'm only reading 2 books on Kindle in a month, I don't need to be paying for KU, especially not when I own over 100 books on Kindle that I haven't read. I've only read one physical book, okay, so I probably don't need to be buying a lot of physical books. I'm listening to a lot of audio, so maybe it's worth subscribing to extra audiobook hours on Spotify, for example. So it's just to help me spend my money in the ways that I'm actually reading books. It's not like, oh my God, I'm reading too much on audio. No such thing exists, I don't care. People might look at this and say, oh, so you didn't even read those books. Literally don't care, shut up. Ableist, weirdo behaviour. Audiobooks are reading. For whatever reason you use them, don't listen to people who say it's not. This is purely to help me decide, like, as I said, what book subscriptions, if any, I want in any given period of time. And in February, I owned 9 of the books that I read, and I borrowed 6. Owned can mean in any format, on audio, Kindle, or physically. And I borrowed 6, again, library or KU for the most part. Then we've got my January spread. So over here, I've got my TBR. I read all the books on my January TBR. And then here are all the books that I read in January. These are all in vlogs, so I'm not going to go through any of them. But track the book and the author here, the rating, the format, and then just a bit niche, I have a column to tick whether I've spoken about the book in a vlog, just that when I'm doing these videos, if there's any that I've not spoken about, I can mention them here, just so that I'm kind of talking about all the books that I want to talk about. So that is my January spread. I did it blue for January blues. February is very contrasting. I did this in pink, obviously because Valentine's. Again, I read my whole TBR in February, and I did another little table. The only one I didn't speak about is this Frederick Buckman book. I think I mentioned it very, very briefly in a vlog, but I didn't read it in a vlog. This is a quite short novella by Frederick Buckman about an old man who is passing away, basically, and he has, I can't remember if it's dementia or Alzheimer's. His memories are slipping away from him, and it follows him and his family, predominantly him and his grandson, and how they are kind of navigating that in his last few months and weeks. And I gave it a 4-star. Up to this point, it was my favourite Frederick Buckman that I had read. I have since read a 5-star and a 4-star by him, but up to this point, this was my favourite one. So yeah, they are the books that I read in February and my February spread. And then I hate my March spread. I think I'm going to change this. I think I'm going to take this flap out and just do a table like I did in the other months. The goal here was to do as if it was posters on the wall of the room that I've drawn, but I'm just not high effort enough for that. I think this would only look good if I did scrapbook paper rather than just writing it on. But I'm just not going to sit here and cut and glue scrapbook paper every time I want to record a book that I've read. I know I'm not. So I think over the weekend I might change this and make it into a table like I did on the other months. I just wanted to do something different, but sometimes different doesn't work, and that's fine. To be fair, I don't hate the rest of the spread. I'm just not a very good drawer, I think, is the problem here. I'm just not very good at art. So instead of doing, you'll notice on the other two, I basically just stuck stuff down. I did a scrapbook kind of vibe. Whereas on March, I drew the whole thing. And I'm just not a good enough drawer to be doing this, I don't think. I don't hate it. It's fine, but I don't think I'll do this regularly. I think I will stick to the cut and paste vibe that I was doing. But yeah, this is my March TBR. I've actually read Wire now, so I need to colour that one in. Yeah, that is my TBR. And yeah, I've read 5 books so far in March as this video is going up, and I have vlogged all of them. So you will see me read all of these books in upcoming vlogs in the next few weeks. And that is my reading journal so far this year. And I think that also brings us to the end of this video. I think this was the last little thing that we needed to go through. So thank you so much for watching. Please give this video a thumbs up down below if you did enjoy, so I know whether to keep doing these bookish stuff videos or not. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.